Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching this video from. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Achieng, and in today's video, I'm going to show you how I prepare my stock. Stock is something that you use when you're cooking to add more flavor. So for my stock, I usually prepare it. It's kind of homemade stock. I like buying bones from the grocery store. Sometimes they have extra bones that um, they've used in, to remove some of the meats for other type of preparations. So I always like going to the grocery store or to the butcher and getting the bones and coming home, preparing them and boiling and mixing a little bit of flavor into the stock and just creating my own stock. And that is what I use on my food. So in my previous video, when I prepare different type of recipes or ingredients, I usually always, most of the time, I have stock, and that stock I always have it ready because I prepare it way in hand. I usually take a day out of the month or out of the week and just prepare a good amount of stock so that when I'm cooking, it's already there. All I have to do is grab it, or I store it in the fridge, and then I just defroze it and use it on my food. So that is what I'm going to be showcasing with you today. I always change it up depending on the extra ingredients that I've bought or the type of produce I've bought from the grocery store. And this is just one of the ways that I make my own homemade stock. So guys, if this is your first time watching this video and you have not subscribed, please do subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are hoping and going for 1,000 subscribers by the end of this year, and I know we can do it because guess what, we literally just made it to 100, and it is a milestone to me because it has not been easy being able to keep you guys entertained with context with different type of cuisine because I work Monday through Friday. So getting feedback from you guys and just subscribing to our YouTube channel, it is amazing. So thank you so much for those who have already subscribed and those who are continuing to support us. And please, let's spread the word. So for today's video, like I mentioned before, I'm going to prepare my homemade stock. If you have watched my previous video, I love flavor. I love flavor on my food. I do not like boring food. I just love to add flavor on top of flavor. Not too much, but not too little. I like getting the balance in between. So this is already one of the ways that I just create. This is one of the ingredients that I use to create amazing flavor out of my food. So I had some beef previously that I had already boiled, and when you soften beef, it does produce stock. So that's beef stock. So I'm using that as a base, and then I'm going to add on top lamb bones and chicken bones, and I'm going to add some celery and some of the green onions. Those are the veggies that I'm going to use in this video, and a little bit of onion. So that's what I'm going to be using to create an amazing flavorful stock. I hope you enjoy it. Let me know guys how you create your own stock. Sometimes I do buy it from the grocery store, like chicken stock. That is for emergency when I've run out of stock and I need stock. I love stock. I try to avoid adding water or using water as much unless I have a lot of spices to amp up the flavor. So without any further ado, I am going to show you the beef or the bones, sorry, that I'm going to use for this stock. So I'm just going to move the camera for you guys so you can be able to see. Perfect. So I started kind of getting my water ready because these are the what we are going to add. I bought some chicken. This is some chicken bones, and then this is lamb soup bones. I'm going to grab some of this and some of this, and I'm going to add to our already beef stock base that we had already produced from softening our beef. So after that, I have the water ready. What I do usually, I add salt just to clean the meat. I already have my lemons prepared, so I'm going to squeeze it into the water while dumping that lemon inside. This too, squeeze and dump. And you cannot forget vinegar. Going to add vinegar. I use a lot of vinegar, so you can see I'm almost running out, but I will grab some. So like I mentioned, we'll be cleaning all of these bones, and I'm not going to prepare all of this. Right now, I'm just cleaning them. I'm going to save some for the future beef bone or homemade stock that I create. So I am going to add this inside. Sometimes this meat, they do have sometimes the bones, they do have a good amount of meat, so I usually save those for future dish, let me put it that way. So I'm going to put this here. As you can see, this one literally has good amount of meat. I'm always very intentional in everything that I prepare, because in my mind, if there's a recipe that I would like to try, I just try it out. So I'm going to wash all of this, but at least I've pointed out the meat, the ones that has meat in it. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to kind of clean this. I want this to soak, so I'm going to let that soak. And while that soaks, I'm going to prepare the veggies. So I have this batch of celery. I love cooking with celery, and when I always buy this one whole stalk, and then I cut. I usually like the root. I usually, for my homemade stock, I always use this part. I do not like wasting, so I usually cut it like that. And I always save this celery. If you have not watched my previous video on how I clean my produce, please make sure you watch it. But this is already cleaned, so I'm going to set it aside. And then this is what I'm going to add. I'm just going to place it on the side. And then for my green onions, I have these ribbons. I've already cleaned these green onions, and I shared it on my previous video. And then what I'm going to do, I'm just going to cut this lower part here and set it aside. So I'm going to save this. Going to set that on the side. I have this right here where I'm going to use to kind of I'm going to place the bones in here, and I'm going to use this to kind of sieve away all of the excess water. So now I'm just going to do some good cleaning on this. Taking my time. Perfect. I'm going to remove the lemons and drain the water. And rinse this meat. So the ones with the meats, I'm going to separate them from ones full of bones. Perfect. Okay. So this is how our meat looks like. It's clean. I'm going to place it on this chopping board so it can drain here the excess parts of it. So we have our meat bones ready, and we have our veggie. So I'm going to use a crock pot. And with a crock pot is very useful. For me, it comes in handy. So I'm just going to dump these ingredients inside the crock pot, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So here's our crock pot. As you can see, we have the previous beef stock that we had already warmed up. So I'm going to dump in the chicken, some of the chicken bones, some of the lamb bones inside here. And then I'm going to add our celery right here. And then some of our green onions in here. And then add a little bit more of the chicken and the lamb bones. There you go. Like I said, I'm not planning to prepare all of the bones, so I'm going to let the remaining ones just save it for another recipe. I'm grabbing some water because I want to maximize the amount of stock that I get from here. And how I do that is by adding some water. Perfect. And from there, I'll be getting a good amount. So what I'm going to do, I need this to get ready as soon as possible. Hence why I'm using a pressure cooker. And since I'm making broth, I'm selecting the broth option. And I am going to let this cook for about 5 minutes. With a pressure cooker, you do not need it to take too long. And then I will show you our final result. So our broth is ready. What I'm doing is separating the elements from the broth itself. And then I already have this clear containers where I used to package our beef stock. I really hope that you enjoyed this. Until next time, God bless and bon appetit.